Thank you, Master. So I really wanted to get this session started with an interesting question that many of you have texted me. So everybody send me a mail asking, so okay, Sri Bagavath ji attained enlightenment at the age of 58, but how did you realize that it is enlightenment? So people are asking that question. A lot of people asked, how did you confirm that you got enlightenment? So that was the core question I wanted to start with as well. So how you became the authority figure to speak on enlightenment. So if you can elaborate on that story, how did you attain enlightenment? That will be helpful for all of us here.
So everybody interested upon meditation or any practice towards spiritual world, they expect a satisfactory feeling in the form of bliss consciousness or anything. If we do meditation or any practice, as a result of such practice, we still feel some ecstasy or some bliss consciousness. But it will last for a certain period, and afterward it will go away from us. And I was also trying on the line of meditation and other practices as everybody was doing. As a result of my practice, I also got many kind of experience, spiritual experience, bliss consciousness, ecstasy, everything. It lasts for some 1 or 2 days, and it will go away from me. And at that time, what I think, so if I have the bliss consciousness forever, that is enlightenment, that is the highest state of spiritual world. So I dedicate all the external efforts towards the spiritual practice and tried many ways. And as a result of my practice, one fine morning, I got the bliss consciousness, and the bliss consciousness that I got will not go away from me. It is permanently with me. So I simply understand that what I tried, I got. So I have no doubt about it. So because I tried for the bliss consciousness, the ecstasy, if I got the bliss consciousness and ecstasy forever, that would be the enlightenment. That is the thing, that is the statement I have. And whoever I have contact with me, everybody has the same idea. So the enlightened persons will be always in the bliss state, the ecstasy state. If one has to be always in the ecstasy state, that would be the enlightened. So I thought like that, and I experienced the same thing as a live fact. And the bliss consciousness extended months together, and it when it is crossed after 6 months, then only I have some disturbance, some physical disturbance. I don't feel some physical comfort. So some problem is there. So I doubt, if the bliss consciousness is the good thing, why should it disturb the health of myself? So I have some doubt. But anyhow, I cannot consult with anybody. Whoever I try to consult, they said the bliss consciousness is the highest state. They cannot say anything about the response related to the bliss consciousness. So I have no idea what to do. But anyhow, I continue in the bliss consciousness and reached 1 year itself, completed 1 year. Throughout the year, I was 24 hours, I was in the bliss consciousness. But gradually my health begins to destroy, begins to degrade. So I have the idea that the bliss consciousness alone is giving some disturbance. When I go to the medical test, all tests are okay. There is no problem in the medical test. Everything is okay. So, but I do not know what to do. So at that time alone, then only I come to a conclusion, unless we can get away from the bliss consciousness, we cannot survive. So in that circumstance, I gradually try to get away from the bliss consciousness, but it also take 1 month time. But I cannot, at any time, I cannot get away from the bliss consciousness. It takes 1 month time for getting away from the bliss consciousness. And after getting away from the bliss consciousness, then I am in the ground level. When I was in the bliss consciousness, I am in the sky. I am not, I am above the ground level. And when I was in the sky, when I was away from the ground level, no problem will not touch me. Because there are many, because we are living along with many problems, but no problem will touch me when I was in the bliss consciousness. Whatever may be the problem, whatever may be the worst of the situation, nothing will touch me. Because the bliss consciousness is a shield. It covers everything. So nothing will be possible to affect me. So and I was there for 1 year in that state. But I have to get away from the state. I have to vacate the state. Now I am in the ground level. I have returned from the sky. So when I return to the ground level and get away from the sky level, each and every problem begins to torture me. All the problems around me begins to torture me. Now, even a single problem, a small problem, little problem, it may be a great torture, giving me great torture. But we do not know what to do. So whoever I consult, everybody suggests the bliss consciousness alone, suggests some practice in the spiritual world. But I have tried and get away from that. So in that condition, I was struggling, not without any idea to proceed further in the spiritual world or anything. So after getting away from the bliss consciousness, even 10 years itself has passed away. For 10 years, I do not know what to do. So after 10 years, I have a little problem in my family, very, very little problem. But I have a torturous mind. My mind is disturbing. I do not know what to do. So in that condition, I come to a conclusion that I don't want anything psychologically. I don't want any kind of feeling, any kind of good feeling within me. Because expecting a good feeling within me alone, I try to shape myself. I try to shape my mind, shape my experience. Then only all the spiritual world is trying to shape our mind, shape our experience. So in this way, I try to protect me against all the problems. So one fine morning, I come to a conclusion that I don't want anything. I simply put down everything. All effort to do anything, all effort to attain anything. So in that moment, my mind begins to function on its own. Before that, I try to separate my mind. I want to design my mind. So on that moment alone, I give total freedom to the function of my mind. So when I give total freedom to the mind functions freely. And I feel it is a different kind of experience. I do not know what is happening like that. So, and I allow the natural functioning of our mind for 6 months. I do not interfere with the natural free flow of our mind. And I put me on wait for 6 months, what is going on, what is happening. And the mind is ever free from that day onwards. That is 2006, I think. From that onwards, my mind is free on, and I do not interfere with the function of my mind. So the mind functions on its own. After then only, I try to understand what has happened to me. So I giving name to what is happening. So actually, the liberation, the natural state of our mind is the liberation. Liberation is the highest state in the spiritual world, and that is our natural state of our mind. Everybody is living the liberation. But what we are doing is that we are trying to shape our mind. We are trying to regulate our mind in a particular way, in a particular design. So one fine morning, I find out that we have no work towards the liberation, towards our mind. So this understanding is known as the enlightenment. So we have no work within ourselves, within our mind. So this is simply means the enlightenment. So this alone, the enlightenment is not a state. It is a conclusion. It is a finding. It is an understanding that we have no work with related to the liberation of our mind. So actually, the liberation is the greatest thing. And everybody is in the liberated state. We need not create the liberation. It is already there. But what we are doing is that we are trying to shape our mind. We think unless we shape our mind, unless we design our mind, will not be good, will not be correct. We thinking like that. So thereby we are trying to shape our mind. So anyhow, somewhere or other, I understand that I have no work within my mind. Then only I allow the mind on its own. So that is the history behind the enlightenment and liberation. And every scriptures, everything is saying the same thing, but in a different way. But here, the yogic process, yoga, meditation, everything is only the shaping of mind. The shaping is mind is for the temporary, it is good, but it is not a permanent solution. So if you understand, the understanding is the permanent solution. So actually, we need not attain anything. The liberation is already there. For example, the inner nature of our mind is just like a child, an innocent child. The innocent child, the child state of an innocent child, that is a good state. That is a liberated state. But at the same time, the liberation is only personal matter. But in the external work is concerned, we have to work our wisdom, we have to use our intellect for the external world. But psychologically for ourselves, within ourselves, we have no work. We have to accept ourselves naturally. We have to accept ourselves wholeheartedly. Then only the natural happening will happen. So the natural happening is liberation. That is the good state. That is the greatest state. It is already there. We need not create it. If we create, it will go away from you. But we need not create anything. It is there. It is already there. So psychologically, we have to come to a conclusion that we have to understand that psychologically we have no work. The natural happening is the good state. The natural happening is the liberation. So it is psychologically. But physically, we not apply the same rule to the physical world. Physical world, good and bad, right and wrong, everything is correct. Everything you have to do the right thing. We should avoid the bad thing. We have to execute the best one. We have to select the good. We have to remove the bad. But psychologically, everything is happening. There is no good or bad. If we select good or bad, then only we are struggling within ourselves.
Just to add on to this point, Masterji, like we see all these things happening, right? Like I mean, across the world, when someone asks what is enlightenment, it is shown as a state of bliss. It is being in the state of ecstasy. That's how people have been projecting it, and people have been promoting inner engineering these days, like inner engineering, like get into your inner and do an engineering process. Or they call it like antaranga yoga, like doing yoga within yourself. So all these things are kind of focused on the inner world, but you're clearly saying that these things are nothing to do with the inner world. Like you do not have to practice anything for the inner world. So then, like, what are these meditation meant for? Like, why are these people trying to promote inner engineering, antaranga yoga? What is your take on that, Masterji?
So actually, whatever you try, you find some result. So because of my effort alone, I have got bliss consciousness. The bliss consciousness is it is good. It is good for my profession, good for everything. It is good because psychologically I am okay. When I got in the bliss consciousness, it is well and good. So in this way, it is created only because of my practice. So in this way, some practice may be there. So it is yogic practice. It is for a limitation. But if you are made you in a state forever, then it will destroy you. The inner psychological system will collapse. So there is a person, the same experience, he has got the same experience at Chennai. He has got the same bliss consciousness and he do not know what to do. And in the course of time, he got throughout his body, he got some boils. And he was put in the bedridden, and he died. But till his death, he was blissful. There is no harm in him. But it is not a natural thing. So anyhow, to a certain extent, we can design ourselves, design our mind or anything. It is well and good, but it is not a permanent one. It is not a good one. All the religion will not say like this kind of arrangement, inner arrangement. So inner arrangement is not necessary because when we face some situation, so naturally there's some related emotion will come. With the related emotion, we can make use of the situation. We can succeed in the situation. But we need not permanently deciding it is a destructive one. For the time being, it may be good. It may look good. But in the long run, it will be destructive.
So all these practices are good only in the interim. Like it can get you short-term benefits, but it is not long. Like it's not sustainable practice for anyone.
It is not a permanent remedy, permanent good
permanent remedy. Okay. So